What's going on, Internet? And welcome to our SHOT Show overview. We are going to machine gun you with our individual top 3 products from SHOT Show 2025, and we're going to probably append a lot of these or point you to links, but we're going to go ahead and push you to that stuff because we go into a lot more detail from the reps themselves as opposed to just us, because most of these products we didn't get to shoot or interact with or play with on our own.
Some of these we didn't even do videos on.
Right, somebody else got to do them.
1776 Insurance. Most homeowners' insurance policies only cover up to $2,500 for firearms. I don't know about you, but I've got more than that in just magazines. 1776 gives you comprehensive coverage against breakage, theft, fire, and burglary for all your guns, and you don't have to give them your serial numbers.
So mine, the very, very first one, I think it was day 3 for us. I got to go up to the 5th floor and go look at ETS has magazines. The best way I can describe these is they're like a bimetal. It's not bimetal, but it's a metal and plastic magazine, very similar to what you might expect out of like a Lancer mag for an AR, but they're doing these for pistols. I thought it was a really clever design. You guys can go see if you check out the video, maybe somewhere here. There. Where that's going to be. It's a really, really neat design that they went with. It's going to make them more affordable. It's also going to make them more lightweight without losing any of the qualities that you got from OEM Glock mags, which gave a very similar metal and plastic feel. I thought it was a really cool thing, but that was definitely one of the most innovative things I saw. What was yours?
Shot sickness. So I think one of the cooler things that we saw, and it kind of just was by happenstance, was the links. We were doing some content on the 50 BMG drum mag for the Barrett that Foztech is finalizing, getting ready to sell. And in the back of the booth, they happen to have a links, and it was like, "What's that for?" And kind of were teasing, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make a drum for that." Well, it turns out that we ran into Jeff from Anwinka, and Anwinka Firearms is going to be producing a domestically produced Berry compliant links here in the States.
Mega based.
Which is pretty neat. It's one of those, guns you see in video games. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it, but...
It reminds me a lot of like an Intervention, but like a modern take on something that cool and iconic.
Oh, yeah.
Or like an Arctic Warfare.
No,
it's
a cool gun, and I think, it's a very hyper niche thing. Only a couple people are probably going to get them. Yeah. But it's cool to know that they're going to be out there.
Also niche, Nocturne Industries, they came out with they are OEMing some panos now with their folding Chimera bridge, which is super pimp and the only way to run panos in my opinion. We didn't do a video on it. I think Walsh from Thin Line Defense did one. I watched a little short from him yesterday.
Panos are a cool deal. I think they're kind of crazy expensive, obviously, for what they are, but I think it's a cool product. Speaking of kind of expensive, but still approachable for the layperson, we got to go before SHOT Show to Primary Arms, and we got to go see their HTX, which is their also Berry compliant. It's America made. That's going to be the theme of this. But it was their red dot. They have an enclosed dot. It's a reflex sight, technically. But what I really liked about that one is that it adapts to footprints, which I thought was really clever.
They've developed a whole new system for mounting. They don't use plates. They're using a chassis system where instead of screwing into the bottom, how you would normally do it, that screws into the side of the optic, and then that plate screws in your head. It's super interesting.
Very cool. They did basically the reverse of what we praised the Echelon for, which is really, really nice. So it's going to allow a lot of people that have either legacy dot bearing systems or they're going to get it cut for something that at least they can get it cut and they're not pigeonholed into one specific platform.
Right? Good elevation?
I'm a shell of my former self.
I think you hit one there. This is the same cut. We're not cutting this for Bobby. Here, same gun. If you did it on the first one, it's going to be offensive.
Oh! That was very, very cool. I want to see more people adopt that type of tech because it will make it easier to adopt these accessories. It's what the 1913 rail did for flashlights. Made it to where everyone can have one on their pistol.
Well, that kind of ties into mine. Kind of like a duh moment, I feel like this shit already existed, but it was the Midwest AK-01, which essentially is a little mount that fits between the negative space of your gas tube and your barrel on your AK. I think AKs are pretty cool, and I think adding a lot of weight to them with rails and stuff, it's cool, but it adds weight, and it kind of, it's an AK, but it's like modernized, sporterized AK, I guess. Right. It's cool to see an AK that you can put, a light or a laser on, and it's not going to affect, the actual aesthetic of the gun. So I think Andrew did a good job of the term for it of Niet rifle is almost fine. It needs a flashlight.
Yeah, so we did, y'all did, I didn't see it, but the MH1 from Low Light Innovations got launched last year at SHOT. Either way, the MH1 from Low Light Innovations came out last year. They launched it, got some time on it. They've done a lot of iterations and improvements on the system. It's designed as an ecosystem, so now they have a few different products to go along with it. They announced their articulating arm adapter so you can do the googly eye thing and pan it. And then they launched the UH1 as well. So you guys did the video with JRH. Moving back to Josh.
Really, really cool stuff. The last one for me is probably the cheapest thing that I saw the whole time. Not cheap because it's bad, but cheap because it's affordable. And I've been running a Snake Staff Systems TQ for forever. And even though I carry a full-size gun, I did like the idea of a concept tourniquet. There was some complaints. They heard those complaints. They had changed a lot of things. Go check out the video. Jefferson does a really good job of explaining all of them. But a lot of the updates they did, they clearly listened to what consumers wanted. And they decided, hey, we're going to stop basically selling these. And not because these are bad, but they were going to let's go ahead and do the update.
The new design is definitely better from what I've seen.
It is definitely an upgrade. So if you have one of these, get the new ones. If you don't have one of these because you couldn't get them because they were in stock, the new ones that are going to be in stock here soon are going to be worth your time.
That would have been one of mine. In general, I think that product, in terms of keeping life-saving equipment on you, is huge. I mean, it's basically, the P365 of tourniquets. So my last one is going to be another Firearms product, the PAA PLX Compact, the RDB or Red Dot Bright. I think it's going to be kind of, the everyman's Night Force 1-8 attacker.
Right.
Granted, the Night Force guys were there beating that thing on the table, kind of to show how rugged it is. So I think time will tell how the PA stands up. We got to do just a little bit of shooting with it a couple of weeks ago, and we liked it. I was a fan of how bright it was. And what's crazy is it didn't really change a whole lot inside of the optic other than how it's projecting the light. So you still get the same battery life as the older scopes, just with an actually very bright reticle. They do have the Nova reticles, but with those, it's second focal plane, and you're kind of married to one reticle. With this, they have different options. You actually have first focal plane. I think it's a pretty cool scope. I'm excited to get some more time behind it.
And I think if you want the bigger tube, then just go buy a Night Force and go spend the money on it. But I think that they made very specific decisions and design to say this is as good a performance as we can get without this thing being $2,000 plus.
Yeah,
which is pretty wise, I think.
And I guess last for me is Hallsun, which, let's be honest, it's always an exciting booth. Whether it's Josh pointing thermals at people or it's just a bunch of products you can actually afford.
Or Bobby pointing thermals at Josh.
They released the Iris, which should be exciting to have a decent quality laser for around $1,000. So overall, it's not consistent with our American themed product, but it is consistent with affordable things that people could actually own.
It's for the people.
Yeah, I mean, $1,000 laser, $2,500 monocular. All of a sudden, for the first time ever, you can actually get into a unit for a reasonable amount of money.
When their system too, the Iris One's $200 or $300.
I think it offers
just a laser,
a very compelling option to a lot of people who, and that's the thing too, is if you want to get night vision, it's cool, but you have to buy all the infrastructure to support it. Right. And also, are you just going to have one gun for night vision or one illuminator that goes on that one gun? Probably not. You probably have one or two guns you want to use.
You're going to start with one, and then eventually you'll get to another one.
I need my PCC night vision gun
to have it.
Yeah, you popping that laser out, bad boy.
And so when you start, going down that road, it gets really expensive when you're having to spend $2,000 a laser. I think that this is going to be a compelling option for a lot of people.
So there's a whole playlist of videos in case we didn't cover something in this video that you wanted to go see. Go check it out on the ARFCOM news channel. But the whole team for us went and did a lot of work to get that for you guys. You guys can also check out the forums where there's a lot of discussions that happen there. Or I'm sure there's plenty of guys like TFB that are bristling with content. That is such a big show that is very hard for any one person to cover enough of it. If you guys have any questions about it, put it in the comment section below. We do read all these things. And then, like I said, go support the companies that are supporting your right to the Second Amendment. And we will see you guys in the next video.